based on the names and the positions, I'm pretty sure we have arrived at the final table. Is there any chance that you know what the payouts were off the top of your head, Ben?
I think I'm not sure in from ninth, but I know it was like 200 for first, 150 for second, 110, and then
I think it was 80.
80, and then it was 57, 40, 29, and then 17.
Okay, so the payouts are 17,000 for ninth, 29,000 for eighth, 40,000 for seventh.
No, you're out. It was 17 for eighth. It was ninth was 10k.
Okay, 10K for ninth, 17 for eighth, 29, 27
Yeah.
for seventh, 40 for sixth, 59,
57 for fourth.
57 for fourth,
Oh wait, fifth.
57 for
75k
fourth.
for fourth.
Okay, 75K for fourth, 110 for third, 150K for second, and 200 and change for first place. So we come into the final table tied for fourth, and we're going to come out of this final table with all the money. So let's go ahead and see how that happens. Raffle's open for 5 more minutes, people. That should keep you entertained while we navigate. Oh, this NCRL guy, wasn't he the fish from earlier that had 6 million way early on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, now because I remember I had him labeled as a fish at the final table, and I was like, I'm not sure. And now that I saw those earlier hands and some of his final table stuff, it makes perfect sense. So you guys were even more excited than I. Well, of course you're more excited. You were the ones playing for the money, but still, you were extra excited. You knew that this guy was a massive, massive whale.
Yeah, we had a really, really good table.
Yeah, like some Sunday million final tables you just see with like 3 or 4 sickos, but
Yeah.
this was a nice one.
It's good that it's the Sunday Million and not the Sunday 500. This is an interesting fold by NH Alabarzi here, because he is getting much better than 2-1 here. So in terms of the odds of his hand winning,
I think it's bad.
you think his fold's bad?
Oh, sorry. Oh, we're looking at sixes.
No, it's a hand that we're not involved in. Nose blow shoves 4 bigs, and Alabarzi is in the big blind, getting better than 2-1. So he's going to be able to win often enough based on the merits of his cards. But it's interesting because he only has 16, 17 blinds, so he doesn't necessarily want to gamble with 3 of them. But the more I look at it, I think he's got to call with whatever he's got, because the difference between 7 mil and 6 mil is not very much. And unless he plans on putting crazy ICM pressure on people, there's no reason to keep this guy with 4 bigs in the picture when, even if you have to suck out on him, you just guarantee yourself and everyone else an extra 35 buy-ins or $7,000.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think there are a lot of hands just like Jack Deuce off and stuff and Deuce 4 off and Deuce 5 suited that I'd be folding here.
Yeah?
Yeah, like Chip's worth quite a lot at the final table. He still has a stack that he can steal with. If he loses, it's 15 bigs. It's not as good. And yeah, I don't think with just the whole factor of your chips being worth more when you're calling off, it's. Yeah, I don't think there are some hands like Deuce 7 against Noseblow who've been really tight. You're not getting the right odds.
Yeah.
So, I think there are the bottom 20, 30% of hands it wouldn't be right to call off with.
Yeah, I think you're right. Most hands would be a call.
Yeah, that's legit though. Okay, so the 6's call though is bad. And his friend was probably ripping him for folding the hand before. So he's like, "Fine, man. I'll show you I ain't no nit, bitch. I'll show you how I call." Boom, boom.
Yeah, I think it was pretty awful, but worked out well for us.
Yeah. This NCRL guy, man, him going after, it's so funny. When you guys watch the replay with cards up, all of it, dude, it's so funny what he's doing.
What's he got?
I think he had 3-4 clubs on that one.
Fair enough.
So we got another all-in and a call. Mickey loses the 60-40. So at this point, we're guaranteed 27,000-ish, 130 buy-ins. And we got another all-in and a call. This was a strong call by Picky Tooth. Kind of. What do you guys think about Picky Tooth's call here with the fact that AVI has 4 big blinds and the pay jumps, what, 15K?
I think it's kind of good because if he does lose, what'll he be down to? Like 1 point or something?
Talking about what?
No. This hand.
Oh, okay. Pick 2 skill. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
I think it's a call.
Okay.
I think that when, like, NCR was being pretty crazy, and so you're gonna have you're gonna be quite far ahead of his shoving range, and Avi was so tight that I wouldn't put it past him to just even wait another orbit and just let himself get down to like 1 or 2 bigs.
Yeah.
So and if Picky just keeps waiting for Avi to fold to like bust, he's gonna end up just suddenly having 5 or 6 bigs, and you come 7th for 40K. But if he doubles up now, he's in 4th or something and has 8 million and can go for, actually has a 20 big stack that he can do stuff with and go for the win. So I think it's a good spot to take.
So the fact that he can get enough chips to really go for one of the top spots more than outweighs the fact that he's skipping out on like an almost guaranteed, somewhat insignificant pay jump. Like, it is 15K, but relative to how much he could stand to win and the opportunity he's foregoing by folding, it seems kind of insignificant. Okay.
Yeah, like Avi was so tight that as well when he gets it in, because he's so sure that all the big stacks are going to call off really light, but he's still waiting for hands. Like, it's quite likely that Avi's going to be ahead when he gets it in.
Yeah, for sure.
If you let yourself get down to 3 million off the blinds and then Avi shoves and wins, he's on 4 million, and suddenly you're last and you don't even have fold equity.
Yeah, for sure. And Avi wins all his all-ins, so... Like,
yeah.
Oh, wow. Speak of the devil, he lost an all-in. That's crazy. All right, 6...
We're not happy here. But
6-handed. Yeah, last minute to raffle, guys. I'm gonna get my order in. Ticket 100, obviously. I'm going for it. The pay jump there was 15K, so they're all guaranteed 44,000 at this point. Picky Tooth squeezes it out. And Alabarzi puts the pressure on. We can't call with Queen 3, obviously. And Picky Tooth fires all the shells against UA, Capo, WSX, whatever that means.
Yeah, we saw the hands when we watched some of the replay, and Picky Tooth had Ace King of clubs there, and the other guy had 9-7 of clubs.
Yeah. He was lucky it didn't come. I like the shove here with Ace 4 suited. How else are you really going to play it? Especially with you being... last on the totem pole, it makes even more sense, but it's just like pretty standard straight up shove.
Yeah.
It's 4 suited.
Such a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the EV of that was quite nice.
Okay, now hold on. That's what I was confused about. Like the Ace 4, the shove. Oh, fucking silly me. I just assumed it went through and skipped the hand and totally forgot that this was the most epic moment of the whole final table, because we make that shove, and what were we saying? You don't worry about if you get called, you worry about, well, what happens when I just get there and win the 12 million chip pot and suddenly am the big favorite to get it done, because even stacks with everyone else, definitely a skill edge, definitely a post flop edge, and more confidence in this situation from having been with someone who's been there before and someone who has a lot of experience being on final tables. So Ben was feeling good. I'm going to close the raffle now, guys. See who won. And we'll do the last raffle of the day when we get to heads up play. And the winner was Lasnik DK. So Lasnik DK, congratulations. You have 1% of Charlie's action this Sunday. That is Epiphany 7-7. Ursens has 1% of Don't Stop. And Lasnik has 1% of Epiphany 7-7. So
Lasnik made the right choice.
yeah. So make sure. Nice one. So yeah, if you guys want to see how your ponies are doing on Sunday, you can search them up on PokerStars, provided they're not hidden from search. But even if they are, you just go to the Stars lobby and sort it by name, and then it's not too hard to find the person that you want. Oh yeah, Alabarzi made an interesting 3-bet here with, I think it's Ace 9, and then bet folds on the Queen 5-4. But I won't do too many spoilers when we can't see the cards because Ben and Charlie are going to do something awesome with that later. So I won't take any of the fun away from that, much like I just took away the fun by showing these two people's full cards before the action went down. Grips, do they release a replay with cards up after the tournament is over? Stars releases a replay of the final table after the tournament is over, and we will be releasing a replay of this entire stream in the highlights section for subscribers. So if you missed it and you want to catch the whole thing, you can just hit the subscriber button anytime in the next week or so, and you will have access to this in the archives. UA will not have access to 200K because his 7s could not beat the Rockets of Cree 19 Cree, who I heard was a chick, or at least it's someone who has a chick's account because they had won one of the ladies' events apparently before. So, all right, 5s. Now, earlier, I wouldn't have been surprised if you ripped with these 5s, but just break down exactly why that is a huge no-no at this point in the tournament.
I think the main factor is that it's going to be a lot to do with ICM. So, first of all, ICM in the sense that we have a lot more chips than NCR L1, which means that he's going to be busting out first, which means we're going to get another pay jump. But also because even if we exclude him from it, we do think that we have a post-flop edge on the rest of the field as well. So this is where I was talking about earlier when people say the terms, I don't want to take marginal spots. I think it is overused sometimes, but in this case, because we know that we can put ourselves in situations where we can put pressure on other people more, and we can take post-flop edges where we're going to be sure about our decisions a lot more. I think this is one of those situations where it may be plus EV to make the shove, but we know that we can have higher EV shoves at other points.
True.
Yeah, and just like a lot of the times, even if it is profitable, I'm not completely sure with 25 bigs, but earlier on we kind of narrowed their range down by saying that they'd shove a lot of marginal hands, or not marginal, but they'd shove 9s through queens or something. But with 30 bigs, he's not going to, so he does still have all the hands that crush us. And yeah, it is just kind of ICM suicide if we get called. We're in such a good spot. And it's definitely profitable to peel and post flop, so I like to do that.
And congratulations to our second banny of the day, Hands 123446, who believes that poker is all luck and no skill. That's probably why he just goes around trolling Twitch chats, getting banned, and enjoying that busto life. Showers, kid. Pocket Ochos, raise and take. And, I mean, this fish, NCRL, did pretty good. I mean, he made quite a bit of money for someone who has probably about as much skill as a guy like Hands 123446 has. Actually, this guy's probably got more skill than Hands. He's like, fuck, why did I even come to this chat and say anything? This is so not what I expected when I said that. Fuck.
That's some good advice.
Okay. Can you talk about why you flatted the jacks?
Yeah, I think just a few reasons is that firstly, it's a horrible spot if we get we're in first and second.
Yeah. If
we get 4-bet by Cry, it's just horrible. Like, we don't really want to get in 30 bigs in first and against first place when we're in second.
I wouldn't say it's horrible.
Not horrible, but it's not. They're not going to be getting in that many hands that we have crushed.
Yeah.
And even if it's just like ace-10 suited, like the ICM is just, it's pretty. It's not nice.
Yeah, we don't want to play cards up poker at this point.
And like NCR as well, who if we bust we get a pay jump. If we 3-bet, I think it's so obvious that they have no fold equity. They just fold all their pairs and ace-10s and stuff. But if we flat, I think he shoves them pretty often. And then he gets to just see what Cry does, and if not, we get to call and just kind of crush his range and add her up.
Yeah. I think one of the important things as well is that we haven't been that active in 3-betting on the final table. So in terms of table dynamics, I don't think Cry 19 Cry would expect us to be 3-betting that light. So I don't think, like, the only way that it would be more profitable to 3-bet is if we think he's going to 4-bet light enough that we can then 5-bet jam and take it down without seeing 5 cards. But I think due to the fact that we really haven't been doing any like 3-betting on the final table, and the final few tables actually, is it means that I think that he's not going to be playing back too much.
Yeah. I thought that the 3 reasons for flatting with the jacks were, number 1, the flop, where we got top set. Number 2, the turn, where we had a boat and he was drawing dead. And number 3, because there's nothing sweeter than chipping an 11.6 million chip pot and grabbing the chip lead in a tournament that pays $200,000 with 4 people left. Spoiler alert. Hide the cards, Scripps. Okay. I'm on it. Sorry, guys. I wonder if some of these guys even play sometimes. No, they probably don't, X7 Delusional. They just tune in and watch streams. Because they don't want to go out there and lose. At least they lose less money by watching streams than they do by playing. This call with the king high, I was just like, what? Why are you trying to be a hero right now? It's like, all pocket pairs got counterfeit.
I think that's really, really bad.
Yeah. How many? Like 3 million, 20% of the chips. When every chip is worth so much, like that's just bad. Don't do that. That's a sticky rice.
Yeah. I think as well with the sizing that NH went on the river, I don't think he's going to be bluffing that often at all. If he did have something like 7-8 of clubs, which he doesn't have that often because he raises the flop a decent amount, I think that he would probably go a decent size and try and fold out an ace, as that is what Cry 19 Cry has a decent amount of the time. I think it's just like, it's a point where NH could even sometimes be value betting an ace.
Yeah.
Just if he did it tiny, and it just seems really, really bad.
Yeah. All right, reshove with ace 10, sweet, king queen. We're doing a little pot control here with the limp. Did you limp because you didn't want to play an inflated pot against Picky Tooth with king queen blind versus blind?
I think one of the main points with a hand as good as king queen in this stack depth is that if he does 3-bet, we either have to, I don't know how many bigs we are, either we have to call a 3-bet out of position or we have to 4-bet jam. And king queen is a really good hand, but if we 4-bet jammed and get called off, like, it's not in great shape. And if we call a 3-bet out of position, the stacks aren't great, and the hands that he's going to be 3-betting are going to be a lot stronger. Whereas if we limp, we get to see a flop quite often, and we can do very well against hands. Say if he raises 3x, we can definitely call.
Yeah.
Because king queen is going to be absolutely annihilating his range that he raises there.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, at this stage in the tournament, they did ask to do a deal. Early on, they asked to do a deal, and Alabarzi was the one who was really pushing it. I watched on the replay, and I was like, wow, like, he really wanted to deal. Like, I could see why you guys pushed it. And at first, Ben was like, nah, like, I'm good. And then when they got 4-handed, he was like, okay, I'll look. But when they put the numbers out, Ben's like, give me 10K more, no deal. And they're trying to figure out how to give him more. And then Alabarzi starts asking for like more as well, and it's like, dude, no, you're working from Chip Chop, not ICM. So there was no deal 4-handed. And then everyone, all the trollers, all the sticky rices, all the handses in the chat on Twitch were like, oh, now they're gonna get fourth. Shows what they deserve for fucking not making a deal. Tell me there's no skill in short stack poker. Meanwhile, we get it in with 10s against A7. Cry tanked forever before calling here.
That was hilarious. I think by the end of it, we were genuinely just praying for him to call. And so tilting when he tanks with that. And
then banked. Like, he or she should have definitely just open shoved that and not had a decision. But, you know, that was unlucky. And I honestly, the more we look at it, this guy has a really strong hand here, by the way, where he folds us off on the turn. I don't think he ran incredibly well for the actual all-ins. Like, you did a lot of skillful non-showdown poker.
Do you remember what hand he... unless you don't want a spoiler.
No spoilers.
Oh, okay, all right.
I remember the one hand where we hit a 3-outer for a lot of equity.
I remember that one really well.
I remember another one that actually just made me think of the 3-handed Greggy Kings versus Jesse Sylvia Ace King. And then like tweeting after that, like, man, like we just got 3-outed in a monster pot, but it's just going to make it so much sicker when we win. Because I started to get that feeling once we were down to 4 that like it was just going to happen. You know, it's just one of those things that was meant to be. So I'm like, all right, like whatever happens, like we're just going to see some epicness. He's come back from the like 0 stack. Let's see what you got shoved on nearby. Oh, we don't know because we didn't call. Right. Never mind. We'll have to watch. You guys will have to watch the video on YouTube coming out in like a week or two that will have the final table with all the hole cards exposed.
Cool.
Yeah. I remember just thinking like we've seen Ben have all the chips. We've seen him have none of the chips, and it doesn't seem to matter. Whatever amount of chips he's got, he's still in the picture. So it's gonna happen. Yeah. This was the hand I was thinking. Although it didn't have to do with us. Kings versus Ace Jack, and yeah, that sucks for Cry.
Really does suck so much.
He or she was probably crying at that point. Give her a little fucking PJ salt for that one. Ooh. Wow, that's rough. That's really rough. But she probably had some luck to get here. This was... Oh, you didn't shove it. Okay. ICM reasons as to why we didn't shove this ace-8? Because obviously Alabardzi's raising all buttons here, right?
So we just can't find the hand.
You have ace-8, the button raises to 1.2 million. You have 9 million in the small blind. Ace of hearts, 8 of diamonds.
Oh, yeah, we got it.
Yeah, it's just that Cry is so short, and on the big blind next hand that, you know, the pay jumps are massive. We still have a decent stack, and...
Yeah, what's the pay jump again between 4th and 3rd? 35,000?
It is, yeah, it's 35k.
And is that real money or play money?
Yeah, that's real money.
35,000 real money? Okay, just wanted to confirm. Just wanted to confirm. So we fold, and it's smart. I mean, when you're this close to the super serious money, you just let it be. Saying like we don't need to go for a steal with Jack 9, 'cause if we do, we have to call off. Like we just don't need to do that. We don't need to open with Ace 4 anymore, because right now we just want to stay out of the way with a smaller but not smallest stack and just get paid. And this is potentially our opportunity to do that. With Jack 8 against Queen Jack, gonna need some help, but no. So that, you know, that probably gives like a tiny bit of sweat, but it's like, nah, we'll just go back to work doing what we do. Open shoving, Ace 9 suited for 10 blinds, not playing 6 highs, letting the big stacks just go after each other, and really just trying to stay out of harm's way.
I think a large part of the situation now where we're kind of bottom stack with Cry is that we need to be shoving a lot of the hands that we're shoving into Cry's big blind.
Yeah.
It's worth so much more if we take money off him, take chips off him, than if we take chips off one of the big stacks, because it makes a bunch of difference between our stack and his stack, making a ICM situation.
Yeah. All right, I got a question for the fans, and then I got a question for you guys. For the fans, who is playing the Sunday 9 million this Sunday? And if you're not buying indirectly, who is going to try to satellite? Because there are some excellent satellites that are going to be running for that tournament, and we can talk about satellite strategy on the Friday and Saturday streams. If you guys are curious which ones you should be playing and what strategies to use, we can talk about that on the streams tomorrow and the day after. But who's playing? And Charlie and Ben, what did you think about Cry's shove here for 6 big blinds with Queen 2?
I don't like it.
No, I don't.
What's the worst queen that you think she should be shoving here? Is it even Queen 7, or is it like Queen 10, because there are those pay jumps in that ICM? If, like, you know, if a cooler gets dealt, you know, people are still pretty shallow. Like if Picky Tooth gets jacks and Alabarzi has kings, they might get it in for 20 bigs, and it's just like 45k free roll.
I think it's quite close. I wouldn't want to say either way if it was any suited queen, like queen deuce suited. I think it's going to be close.
Yeah, I think queen deuce suited would be a shove.
Offsuit, I think it is. Yeah, I think it's 8, queen 8 off.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be around there. It's so hard to say exactly because ICM it's difficult to calculate exactly without taking some time off it. But yeah, I think the thing is he is in last place. She is in last place still, so she does need to be shoving a lot wide. But she still has positions where she can shove the button into our big blinds.
Mm-hmm.
So it means that there will be a lot of better shove spots for her to take, and she will get better hands than queen deuce off a lot of the time.
Yeah. And unfortunately, she ran into a real hand, but wow.
Yeah, that was kind of brutal.
Again, just like...
we didn't like that one.
Just give us the money!
It's so annoying. How they work.
This was the sweat as well about whether you get the 6-figure score or not. And
yeah, that's the big one.
Now
I think it's more of a sweat because we'd look like such douches if we're like, nope, not dealing, not taking it, post flop edge, and then just bust the ball.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited for the hand where I remember in the chat, the one guy kept going on about how there's no skill in post flop in like 5 big blind play, and there's a certain hand that goes down, and I said, I'll show you there's skill in 5 big blind play. I think you guys know which one it is, but the viewers don't.
I think people underestimate the edge you can have when it's less than 10 bigs. You know, if you're paying attention, and like there are, you know, and in like a, you know, small tournament where the prizes don't mean much to anyone, it's less. But in these tournaments, you can just pick such good spots.
Oh shit! I spoiler. I show the cards. Whatever. This is it. This is the hand where I was like, you think there's no skill in 5 big blind poker? Boom! Set on the flop, bitches. How's that for 12%? I was like, skill. And they're like, it was just coin flip. I'm like, and I remember at the end, I'm like, well, if he made the deal, he would have got like 140k and had a chance to win 160. But by not making the deal, he won 170 with the chance to play for 190. So I'm pretty sure he was right to not make the deal. They're like, yeah, but Grips coin flip. I said, how much did he win? Okay, end of conversation.
So tilting for people that don't know you're trolling.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the people who just showed up and like don't know me and what I'm about, they're like, yeah. I was like, dude, you're such an asshole. I'm like, no, you just don't know me that well.
Yeah.
I'm the nicest guy you'll find.
I enjoy these moments.
Yeah. All right, 9s versus king. We finally get an elimination, and we're down to 3-handed. So at this point, you got the 6-figure score, right? You locked up 115,000?
Something like that.
Okay. Yeah. So some
109,000.
Some whatever amount of money.
Yeah.
No big deal. Oh, and then Picky, everyone's trying to fucking stop and go. Alabarzi's like, nah, dude, no fucking stop and go. Get out of here. And you guys were like, what the fuck? How is that even an out?
Yeah, no, I genuinely cheered a bit on the river, and Ben just looked at me and was like, what are you doing?
I can picture Ben exactly with that face, too.
Yeah. That could be tricky.
Okay, so we gotta hide hero hold cards again. And we'll do that. 8 deuce. Alright, 10 4 suited. Ace 10. We're just shoving. Super short. No need to try to induce post flop action. Even though we got a post flop edge, we'll just take them pre flop. That's fine. So we're looking at there's a 40k pay jump between the next two spots, right? And you're all in, and he folds. Whew. That's close. Oh, you got aces.
We did get aces.
I think this is only the 6th time in the tournament you had aces. So I was wrong. You've had aces more than ace king, but you did not have ace king 17 times.
Yeah.
That's for sure. This guy's all in, and you have aces. Tough spot. How's your equity? About as good as it gets. 93%. Any sweats on the flop? Nah. Running 8s. I've seen that. Wait, didn't you do that to someone once, Charlie? Running kings?
The quads.
Against aces on an ace-king rag board? Yeah, you did that.
I remember.
It was like ace, king, 7, king, king in the 6 max.
Yeah, something like that. I like how Charlie just pretends like it did. Oh yeah, I did do that to someone. That guy probably put his head through the window.
I enjoyed that so much.
Yeah, that was fun. That was the karma from you getting robbed on the air, and like that was the most epic day ever. That was so funny.
That was such a laugh.
Yeah, so nice hole. And now we have all the chips. But still, were you going to try to lean on Alabarzi at this point, or were you really going to try to both focus on going after Picky Tooth and chopping him down? Because you do have position on the other big stack, which I also think is something that is very much neglected when people talk about deals and say like ICM is the fairest thing. It's like, that doesn't account for like stack setup and like so many things are ignored in that.
I think that's part of the reason that we wanted a lot more. Like we had a postal up edge, but also we had position on the only other what we thought is really good player.
Yeah.
We didn't know how good he was. It just seemed like the rest of the table just weren't that good.
Yeah.
Like he was shown to make some pretty bad plays at some points.
Yeah. Based on your guys' position relative to the other players, I like that you were asking for more, and like I understood kind of what was going on, where you're just like, yo, like you guys don't understand, like we're gonna win.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those spots where people will, a lot of people, they do want to just deal, and a lot of people will almost just give you money.
Yeah.
It's one of the few times in poker where people will just, say, if you say, okay, you can gamble for 50k or just give me 2k each.
Yeah.
You're just taking a free 4k, so
yeah.
I think, it's kind of dumb not to go for it.
Yeah. So the one of the very few times in poker when you get free money is oh shit. Well, we're gonna have to sweat this after. Is when you get to the deal making process on a big final table where everyone just wants to shut it down, lock up their money, and be done with it. Pretty much the only other time you get free money is every Friday here on this stream at 4:30 Eastern in our special events. Queen Jack suited against Ace 10. If we can hold, everybody who's new here has to click the follow button. No exceptions. No exceptions. Click the follow button. Do it now. So at this point, we're heads up, and a deal was made. Now, there were some interesting things in the deal. Ben did get, like he said, some extra thousands out of it. So a deal was struck. Ben, how much did you get and how much did he get?
I think when we looked at numbers, he was going to get 174 and we were going to get 166.
Yeah.
But we got him to give us like another 2k, so it was 168 for us and 172 for him.
Okay.
He was really stubborn. We kept saying give us 2k more, and he was just like, I'll give you 1.5k more, and then we'd be like, no, give us 2k, and he'd be like, I'll give you 1.6k.
It's great when you're just like, no, just give me this, and you just see how close they will get. Be like, fine, I'll give you like 1.95, but I'm calling it at 9.5, not on 2, and you're like, okay, fine, man.
Yeah. Eventually he stopped. Like when we were talking about the deal, we were talking about having a 20k heads up or a 50k heads up, and he was saying that he wouldn't budge because he wanted an extra $200, and we were. Yeah. It seems so weird, but
I think it's more of a pride thing. It's just like, I'm not letting this guy take advantage of me. But the funny thing is, he was the one who wanted to make a deal from the beginning, so you guys knew that you had that little bit of room, right?
Yeah, like you can always get it. We could have just accepted the deal, but I think like 90% of the time we're going to be able to get at least an extra 1k. So
yeah.
You might as well take it.
And it's not like deal discussion ends when like he says no. You can be like, okay, what about that? But I loved how you guys were firm early on when people were like, well, can we do this? You're just like, no, let's play then. Because as soon as someone says play, the mod unpauses it. But if they say no and just think about it, you can then be like, okay, actually, wait, let's do this much. So there's no harm in asking.
Yeah, you can always kind of go back and take the original offer, but